Title 1 type shit.
2 cameras, take 1 mark.
Take 1.
It's very cool.
Max.
I like that. Oh, wait, do you have to ask me?
You should call him Max instead of Mark.
You should just run it. Just like, don't let them ask you a question. Just ask me the question.
All right, now it's time for the AT&T Worlds recap, where we are going to review our last week and our exit from Worlds. And I say it like I'm happy about it. Like, yeah, we exited Worlds.
Let's get into talking about how we lost.
It's definitely harder. So when you prepare for all the teams, you have to imagine like the picks that they can, the responses for them. So against Fnatic, it was a lot easier because we could pick champions. Like we drafted like the CEOs of like unskilled team comps. We drafted Or and Orianna, right? And we knew going into that game that they couldn't do much about it.
Yeah.
That
in
we
terms
can
of draft.
Yeah, that we can just pick comps that win 5v5 and outscale, and then we'll win. And that's the most important thing, is that when we go into last pick, it's like, how do we draft so that we're outscaling them? Fuck, I can't remember if we were red side or blue side. We were red side,
We were red side.
We were red side,
They
yeah.
blind picked Soraka. And
Yeah, they blind picked Soraka. It was actually scary when they're hovering Pyke, because we were going to get a comp that was outscaling them, so I think if they picked Pyke, they actually had a better chance of winning by ganking.
Yeah, they could make the game
Jarvan
really chaotic.
and
yeah.
Pyke. I was actually not happy that they were hovering Pyke, but then they locked in Soraka, and I was like, oh, it's fine. We can win 5v5 against them. So against Fnatic, the preparation was definitely the easiest because of their range of responses being a lot narrower than EDG and T1.
So after we beat Fnatic, we still had a chance to make it out of groups. We were leading into our match against EDG, which if we lose, we are out of the tournament, and if we win, we still have a chance, right? So we were definitely very focused for our preparation when it comes to EDG. Before the game, we were always talking about draft. We had a bunch of scenarios lined up that were possible, and as expected, honestly, I mean, actually, it wasn't really that expected for them to open Aatrox first pick. We sort of expected them to ban it because Flandre during the tournament wasn't generally opting into counter picks like Fiora. But they actually opened Aatrox and then picked Fiora into it, which, if played well, is a very good counter pick into Aatrox. Because usually Aatrox can't really get ahead in lane, and he gets outscaled very hard at about 1 or 2 items. So leading into our match against EDG, we were definitely, I mean, it was basically all on the line. We have to win this game.
And then when you're playing against EDG and T1, they can draft similarly to how you are, and they can also play Fiora, and they can also play Lissandra, and they can respond with a lot more picks. They can play Viego Lissandra and win mid-jungle 2v2. They can counter-pick top lane in a lot of different ways that like Wonder couldn't, for example. So it's a lot harder against EDG. We drafted against EDG, Trundle against Maokai Thresh, right? The idea with Trundle against Maokai is that if you're winning early game, it's really easy for you to keep control of spaces like Dragon and Herald because you're always winning 1v1, so Maokai can't face check you. But because we failed the bot dive and we got behind early game, it was really hard to maintain those spaces, and then Maokai just throws saplings and bushes, and now we're the ones who can't enter. And then if we get sapling and it's like a 50% slow from Maokai building like the AP item, then you get Thresh hooked, right? And now it's all opposite, where if you're not ahead, you can never enter and you're getting outscaled. So it was really unfortunate that the bot dive went so poorly, and I think we could have dove them, but there was definitely execution that we were talking about after the game where we messed up the bot dive.
Yeah. Those sort of games feel really bad to play, and I think specifically against like Chinese and Korean teams, they are the ones that do that best when they're in winning positions.
Because
T1, honestly, the T1 game, I don't even give a fuck about that game. Personally, we were already out of the tournament. We locked in Belveth 1-2 because Blabber just felt like playing it. And Jensen wanted to play Akali, so he locked it in, and I was like, by 3 pick, I saw their comp, and I was like, yeah, dude, Fiora's really good here. And I locked in Fiora. Yeah,
I tried my best, okay? I recommended the champions in our preparation that we agreed would be the best. I told Blabber I recommend Maokai. He locked Belveth, that's okay. I don't know if I told you a champion. I might have just...
No, by R3, I think you already gave up.
No, I told Berserker, you can pick whatever you want. I recommend Callista. And he locked in Guys. almost immediately responding to what I said.
I like the Heimerdinger pick. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I wasn't able to recommend Sven a champion because I didn't actually know what Sven could pick to help this out. But Heimerdinger was pretty good. I think Heimerdinger, they were actually pushing with Kai'Sa against Lucian Nami.
Yeah.
So I don't think Heimerdinger was that bad. I think there were some moments in that game. Jensen solo killing Faker. It's a good game.
Yeah, great game, guys. Jensen's killed Faker a couple times. Yeah. Well, did he? A couple times? I don't know.
I think twice. I think he solo killed Faker twice.
And then he got killed.
And then he had the Dragon Ball Z battle.
Yeah, but Faker had stopwatch.
There's like 15 dashes, stopwatch, flash. Yeah.
That is a Kali Salas, yeah.
Yeah.
Jensen's coming for Faker again. He won't stop.
He won't stop.
Till the end of his
he
career.
He won't stop until we play T1 again. We play the same matchup and he solo kills him again. This time we win. So now for the AT&T 5G prediction, we're going to be predicting who's going to win the whole thing at Worlds this year. And I got 2 guesses that I think are perfectly reasonable and accurate.
Well, first of all, you don't get 2 guesses, you get 1.
Okay. So
but you can give like the 2 options, but just pick one.
The 2 options that I'm working with right now are EDG and T1, the best teams at the tournament. And I think I'm going to go with EDG is going to win the whole thing again.
942 days ago, Deft won a Worlds quarterfinal, and today, thanks to Zeka, he does it again.
I personally disagree that the best 2 teams of the tournament. I think that T1 is really good, and I think that they're definitely a contender for the World Championship. But I actually think JDG is more likely to win it all than EDG. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick T1, just because I think seemingly their players just sort of have that almost like clutch part in them that I sort of just believe in. Specifically with Faker, I think he's like shown to be very clutch in the past. And I also think Zeus is the best top laner of the tournament. From playing against him and scrimming against all the other top laners and playing against all the other top laners, I think Zeus is definitely the best top laner of the tournament. So I believe in him a lot, specifically after he gets more comfortable on stage. Now after the group stage, when this is his first time playing at Worlds, I think he's going to perform really well. So I have to pick T1. All right, everybody, this has been your AT&T Worlds recap, and we would like to thank everybody for supporting us at Worlds, and we're going to be back at Worlds next year to shit on T1.